At some point, we got to stop getting offended by everything. You know, not everything is racist. And at some point, we have to kind of draw the line and be like, you know what? I'm just gonna laugh at that. We've come far enough, right? I'm not saying maybe the right time is now. It feels like it, right? Things are a little tense. Things are a little tense. You go outside, you say something, people might interpret it a certain way. We got to dial it back a little bit. Things have gotten way too far fetched. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Ajay Patel Show. My name is Ajay Patel. This is episode 78. Climbing the ladder. Climbing the ladder. And Drusky, a well-known comedian. I don't know if he's classified as a comedian, but he's a well-known content creator. And honestly, probably the funniest dude doing it right now. Truly. Like, I did not think I would be someone watching a lot of these YouTube series he's doing. He has this like parody of Making the Band, which was an old P. Diddy MTV show where he just has like a record label, but it's a very trolly record label. And it's very forward with that, where it's like, hey, you can sign with us, but we are going to rip you off. So he has this vision, right? He creates good content, very original. I mean, you know, somewhat original content. But either way, the only thing that matters is it's entertaining and it's funny. So this dude, I will say I'm a big fan. I've become a bigger fan over the last couple of years, truly, honestly, through some of those streams he's done. He's done a lot of these live streams with, of course, a well-known streamer named Kai Cenat and a well-known comedian that goes by the name of Kevin Hart. So Drusky does all these skits. He does these parodies. He does these parodies of, oh, black girls working at the airport. Oh, black dudes being jealous of their girls being bought stuff. You know, like very concept-oriented skits. It's not hacky. It's not hacky. I want to put that out there. That as someone that likes to appreciate a good piece of art, I feel like he's doing very well. So recently he put out a skit where he was basically, people are calling it whiteface. And I think that's kind of discounting it a bit. So he basically painted his whole body white and was a attendee at like a NASCAR event type of thing. He was like a very hillbilly trailer trash like character. And, you know, obviously he's playing the part. He's playing the part. He's talking like them. He's chewing like them, spitting like them, looking at black people like them. And the internet becomes, you know, it just storms into this uproar where it's like, hey, why are you allowed to do whiteface, but we aren't allowed to do blackface? And of course, by we, I'm talking about, I don't want to say all white people, because I do think there is a large percentage of white people out there that literally just laugh at this thing and move on. Because if you're white and you're like, oh, I'm not this trailer trash, right? I literally live in a mansion. I literally have a butler that I ring a bell and food comes to my door, right? There's different realities. We've talked about this. There's different realities of white people. Same thing with black people, with all people. And so this concept of like, even the fact that this has made so many news cycles is what I start getting annoyed at, where it's like, oh, you know, comedian Drusky's catching controversy for doing whiteface. And it's like, yo. First of all, we need to get to the point where we can just laugh. We have to get to the point where we can just laugh. Now, white people, I love y'all. On this podcast. Oh, we are the biggest fans of y'all. But you have had the upper hand for the last 100 years. For the last 100 years. And honestly, you still do, right? If you ask any race, color person, they're not going to deny that. They're not going to deny the way the seesaw is leaning right now. And in no time in the near future is that ever going to get even, let alone the other way up. So this anger where it's like, hey, you can't do whiteface, it's just so outdated. It's so outdated because what people don't realize is that this is the step towards acceptance. This is the step towards, hey, you know what? We're good. We're good. When the word slavery comes up in class in the 8th grade, people don't need to apologize. People don't need to apologize for what their ancestors did to another group of ancestors. It's okay. We are a new group of people. We have to live a different path forward. Racism is always going to be baked into all things, whether you're Muslim, black, white, Hindu. It's tough to be a little. I mean, you know what I'm saying. There's a lot of real estate wars out there in different countries. So racism is always going to be this thing baked in. And now, like with this story in particular, it's not the same as my biggest issue that I have to kind of emphasize. Where if a white person does blackface, which has already happened, right? Robert Downey Jr. did quote unquote blackface in a movie called Tropic Thunder. Sorry, I don't want to get that wrong. And it was a huge success. It was a huge comedy bit back then, and it worked. It worked. There wasn't that much of an uproar back then. And don't get me wrong. There might have been. One, I didn't really pay attention that much. Two, the internet wasn't what it was today, where it's like this mind virus thing. So if you weren't annoyed at it initially, you see all these other people getting mad at it online, and then you think, oh shit, I gotta be mad at it too. If these people are upset, then I feel like I should be upset. And that's what I truly hate about this shit today. Where these feelings are basically artificially, it's a virus. It's a virus, right? As soon as you see something, you're persuaded towards that. And it can happen either way, right? If you're upset about something and then someone says, hey, you know, it's not that big of a deal, you could be persuaded the other way. And with this Drusky bit, what I got to get people to realize is that it's not being hacky in any way, right? He's not just putting some white powder on his face and then saying, hey, I'm white, and then doing a bit, right? No. This is a Hollywood level production that he's putting on. He is probably spending more money than some of your favorite movies have ever spent. He's getting a makeup artist in there. He's getting these people that he can model after, that he sees, oh, okay, you know what? If I'm going to play this skit, I got to see what it is. I got to see what it truly is. I don't want to just go out there and just make some sounds that I've seen on TV. No. I'm going to go out there to the trailer parks and see how do people live, see how do people talk, how do they interact. And so that's my biggest issue, is that people are putting a foot forward. Like this dude in particular is putting that foot forward to make that joke, right? He's not. Do y'all hear the garage booming up under me? Damn, that bitch loud, bro. You can't sneak into nowhere anymore. It's going to happen 2 more times. So I apologize. Hopefully y'all don't hear that in the background. But back to the Drusky thing. And I promise I'm getting to a point. There's always a point. The reason it is not the same is exactly what I said earlier. There is 100-year, if not more, gap and a certain level of sensitivity, right? Obviously, we all know about the slavery. We all know about the, like what the oppression that still lies today. Things have gotten much better. And the things that certain communities have to go through to get, maybe a little inch forward. I'm not saying BLM was a failure, but it took a lot to get very little. And I don't know how to do that differently. I don't know. So that's why I don't want to completely shit on the movement, but it's like, hey, I don't know where this is going. Right? You see certain organized movements, right? Like, for example, the Pride movement. Ooh, they're organized. Ooh, they're precise. They're loud. They have their PowerPoint structured very properly. It's not kind of all over the place. Sometimes you see people in these work meetings and you say, man, how did you even put this together? I can tell you've never done this before. You've never persuaded anyone to do anything that you wanted to. The Pride movement versus the Black movement versus a lot of the other movements that are happening nowadays, right? Transgender movement, women's movement. All these movements are happening now. And so then you see, some of these movements are doing very little and they get a decent amount in return. But for the Black community, I will say, goddamn, it takes a lot to get very little. And so when a community starts saying, well, it's not fair that we can't do blackface. First of all, yes, you can. The issue is you just can't make it hacky. In addition to that, you need to recognize who you are. Right? I think the homeboy, the governor, the mayor of Toronto, Trudeau, whatever his name is, he did blackface. Ooh, he got tore up. When a lot of those governors were mocking the I can't breathe thing, they got tore up. Because there's a certain tonality in it. And I understand, that's bullshit, yada, yada. No. It for sure is. Right? There's the most important thing, I think, behind jokes that people have lost sight of is intent. Intent. Is this person trying to be racist to Black people? Is this person trying to be racist to white people? When you see the Drusky skit, you don't get any sense of, this guy's being racist to white people. This guy has progressed way beyond just a small little YouTube channel, right? He's at the Michael Rubin parties. He's at all these celebrity events. He has endorsements. So you have to think of his intent. It's like all of these dudes have now sponsored him. They've invested in him. They have seen the talent. They have put money behind his name. So in what world would you think this dude's doing this to be racist? Going back to the Robert Downey Jr. thing. He's on record on the Joe Rogan Experience talking about that whole thing. Where it's like, yeah, obviously it'd be very hard to get that to slide today. But at the time, the intent was just to make a funny movie, was just to play a certain role. That dude was addicted to drugs. You think his first thing, you think he even cared about races? That man was fighting demons in his head, let alone demons out in reality. So you got to look at this intent. For example, if Channing Tatum did blackface, right? Let's play it out, right? Step Up 7 comes out. Step Up 7 comes out. Channing Tatum's about 50 years old. And there's a dance competition that says, hey, there's only black people allowed. And he painted his face black, and he went out there, bow, 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 bow. He does the ground humping thing that he does in Magic Mike, does a backflip, does the mean-ass move from Step Up 2 where he gets up on the pole, puts his shirt on the thing, and then he slips out the shirt. And people are like, oh my gosh, he's white. You think they're going to be mad? No. You see what I'm saying? It's all about intent. And that's the biggest thing, ladies and gentlemen, is that we got to get to a place where we're laughing together again. We've gone way too far. I don't know what direction we've even gone, where it's just nothing but chaos, anarchy. Everyone has to be angry about something. Everyone's just looking for something to argue about. No one wants to just poke fun and laugh, right? If someone says something racist to me, right, I double take. We had 2 guys come today to install a window. I said, hello, how are you? It was a Russian guy. You know what he said back? Namaste. Now, I could have been offended. Where it's like, hey, whoa. But what's the intent? This guy has learned a couple of words. And he wants to talk to me in my mother tongue. He sees brown. He sees some hair. He sees a little bit of hair loss. He sees receding hairline. He says, oh shit, this guy's Indian. Let me pull out the number one word. I know what to say to this guy. So then you consume it like that. It's like, all right, cool, right? When I've gone to Kansas City Casino and they've said namaste. Now that was a different kind of intent. It's a different kind of intent when you're playing $10 hands and someone says namaste to you, right? You think they're punching down. So all in all, we just got to get it back to a place of laughter. There's so many things that like it's really not that serious. Focusing on intent. I know a handful of brown people. I was just talking to my boy Neil about this, where there's this white girl that he knows from Barry's, I think on the older side, and she keeps calling him Dr. Patel. Neil's not a doctor, but his last name is Patel. Now, you got to think, there's a lot worse stereotypes. As an Indian fellow, man, it's tough to get stereotyped against now. We've done too well. And the issue is we've done so well that the jokes haven't progressed that much, right? It used to be good, right? You used to have the homeboy from The Simpsons as a joke. You used to have 9/11 as jokes. You used to have Curry as jokes. Ooh, your funny language. Ooh, you're hairy as jokes. Now Harry's in style. Curry's a very popular dish. We're doctors. We're engineers. We're pretty much about to take over half of these countries. You guys dress like us when you go to Coachella. You see an Indian wedding. You say, man, I really want to go to your Indian wedding. And it's like, hey. For me, that's just a wedding. You see what I'm saying? And we get the luxury of that. And so sometimes I think about that and it's like, you know what? I ate plenty of racism. And it wasn't even racism, right? These were just homeboys on the basketball team. Dudes in my class. And it's not like they were meeting me up after school to beat me up, right? These were locker room jokes. What's the intent? And I think that's what we have lost complete sight of. Now, the other question I have for y'all was this. If you're an Uber driver gets a call, should they pick up the phone? Because on one hand, it's like, oh, okay, you know, it's not that serious. But on the other hand, and I don't know if it's just me, but it's like, don't you fucking dare answer that shit. You are hired by me right now. You report to me right now. You sit there and you drive this car as fast as you can to John Wayne Airport. Is that too far-fetched, right? Like, I think it's a little bit ignorant when people take calls. First of all, if you take a call on the car phone, I get it. You're being safer, right? You're on the Bluetooth. You hit a button on the wheel. You take the call, ha ha, hee hee, and then they keep talking, and you're just sitting in the back. It's a little weird, right? But at the same time, do you want them to actually physically have the phone in their hand? I'm someone that doesn't even like taking calls myself in the back seat. I think a lot of people do, right? This is your private space. You just reserve this car for the time duration from point A to point B. You should be able to do whatever you want. You want to get it on with someone? Cool. You want to take a call? Cool. You want to take a nap? Cool. You just got to make sure you don't get kidnapped. But at the end of the day, you have reserved this time. And there's a handful of, like, I've taken plenty of Ubers in my life. I'm sure everyone has. And you see the different types. You see the different types of Uber drivers, right? My favorite one, truly, is the one that doesn't say anything. You go in the car. You said, for AJ? They say, yeah. You sit down. They're playing some random radio station, and they just start driving. It doesn't matter if it's 20, 30, 50, an hour. They just drive. They don't talk to you. They'll help you get your bags out the back. And that's beautiful. Now, the other type of Uber driver I don't mind is the one that has AirPods in, and he's just murmuring. It's normally an African fella, right? It's normally someone that has some family at home. He's just murmuring. No. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I went a little Asian there, my bad. I didn't really have my African dialect ready. I don't mind that either. It's very soft. It's very quiet. They're having a good time. They've been doing this for however many hours. They have a bunch of stinky people coming in their back seat. A few of them probably puked. A few of them probably asked, do you have an aux cord? Do you have a charger? I just want to really play something really fast. No? Could you stop the car actually so I can connect to the... You know what I'm saying? That's what they've gone through for the last couple of hours. Let them talk on the phone if they want to. And then the worst of all is the overengaged one, right? The overengaged one. The person that answers the phone, if I'm being honest about it, I really don't actually care. I prefer that they don't. But if they do, it's like, I get it, right? Someone could be dying at home. You have a wife. You might have a kid that needs to get picked up. You have something going on in your life that you have to answer the phone. I get it. I understand. And like we've kind of dropped the seriousness on phones in general. I'm sure a bunch of people in school now are on their phones. When you go to work, it's quite usual to be at your desk and you see people on their phones for a little duration. You don't take it out during meetings, but if you get a call, you can excuse yourself. Whereas before it was kind of frowned upon if you even leave the room to take the call. But the worst Uber driver for me is the conversational one, right? You know, the one that starts asking you about your life, about your day. Oh, are you in LA to be an actor? Huh? What agency are you trying to get? Oh, you're on casting networks? Oh, you got to get headshots. You got to get headshots. Don't take them yourself. You got to get headshots. You got to spend at least $500, $800. You got to get headshots. These people that ask so many questions and then they have an attitude. Hey, you know what? Actually, the pickup point was, like 30 seconds back. You shouldn't be doing that. You actually can't get in the car with, an alcoholic drink. Uber drivers need to understand something. I really don't understand why I've had such a disdain for Uber drivers because, the system is amazing, right? And if people are making a nice, easy living like that while living in a foreign country, cool, do your thing. What the fuck was I saying? My biggest disdain? Oh, I don't know why I have such a big disdain. In college, I used to always berate these dudes. I don't know whether it was drinking, whether it was just like a power complex. I don't know what it was, but it got really bad. It got bad where like I started getting kicked out. I started getting kicked out of Ubers because I used to just tell them like, hey, you're really not that important. You're a glorified taxi driver at the end of the day, right? You're not this private driver. You're not this person that, some lawyer gets picked up in a black SUV or a black, old school Cadillac or a, some type of old, like an old school black car. You know what I'm saying? Like one of those. You're not one of those drivers. You're driving a Prius. You've been driving drunk college kids around. If anything, you're a creep. You're not here from the word of God. You're nothing. And then after, like my rating dropped a little bit, I calmed down on him. And now I will say, I've gotten lucky. I've gotten lucky with the last handful of Uber drivers. And I completely forgot my point with this story. But basically, it was this concept about like, if you're an Uber driver, and I want to preface something. I drove Uber for like 2 minutes. I drove Uber for like one day. They allow you to get on the profile like that. There's really no check or anything. They don't. I mean, now I'm sure it's changed, right? I'm talking like 2017 time. You can just get in. You just get in. You start driving. You just start driving. And the first ride I had was a couple of Indian folks. It went good. They didn't say anything. The next ride I had a white lady I was picking up from 54th Street Bar in Las Colinas. My phone used to really mess up with GPS. I started getting lost. She started just getting on my ass. And boy, was that the last ride I ever did. I have a respect for him. I do have a respect for him. It takes a lot of shit to deal with that crap. But at the same time, don't answer your phone, bro. Don't answer your phone. Now then, ladies and gentlemen, how are you doing? How's it going, huh? It's 4:34 on a Monday night, and I just want to let y'all know I'm in Houston, Texas. Yes, sir. 713. Might have to name the episode that 713. We got a place here. I'm also in California, don't get me wrong, but we got a little house here, and man, unpacking. Just packing, unpacking, and then you start filling up the space, and you start seeing the canvas, and you start saying, "Ooh, I gotta fill it up with this. Ooh, I could do this. Ooh, I could do this." It's fun, but on the flip side, you're just spending money like nonstop, and you at this age, you're not good with like the IKEA mom dresser, the IKEA mom bed frame. You go to living spaces. Oh, CB2 has something. Ooh, I'll get that. Oh, yeah. Just get everything from Amazon. We don't need to go walk the aisles anymore. We'll just have some Uber driver go pick it up and bring it to us. We've been settling down a little bit in the 713, enjoying it here and there. It's obviously great having friends around, but boy, is it hot. Boy, is it hot than a mug. Today was one of the few days where I was just like, oh, damn, like this weather's kind of nice. Give me 1 second. My bad. I didn't want y'all to see that I had so much snot coming down my nose. 713, the weather. Yeah. So I'm a big shower in the morning kind of person. Right? Ideal schedule is you wake up, shower, go to work, gym after work, shower after that, dinner, sleep. So you're relatively clean, right? You might smell like a little garlic or like some rice and chicken at the end of the night, but it's nothing bad, right? Like there's no sweat on your body. Here, bro, man, if you miss the gym and you just sweaty, I hate by the end of the day, right? At the end of an exhausting day, you have to think about, man, I got to hop in the shower. But here you have to, bro. Here, there's no choice other than to do that. So that's one thing where I'm just like, I'm really tired of always being dirty. I don't mind a little dirt here and there, but being sweaty, being like just like stick, that little grain against your skin. And then I've been breaking out a little bit on my nose, and it's like, damn, bro, like California was doing me nice here and there, but y'all doing me dirty. Ignore the gray hairs. I need to get a haircut again, bro. Fucking hell, it's like every 4 episodes. All right, focusing on our last topic of the day. No, but seriously, if Channing Tatum did blackface, I really think it would be hilarious. But on our last topic of the day is boy, this shit that's been going down in the White House. Now, look, obviously we didn't predict any of this. I know what you might be thinking. Oh, yes, we did. We knew that this guy was crazy and he was going to do this. Not like this, bro. Not like this. Someone must have said something after the end of that first election. Because this man now is just doing shit with a vengeance. You know what I'm saying? Like there's no even rhyme or reason. With some things you could try to be like, oh, okay, you know what? I kind of see the logic behind that. He thinks tariffs might be a good thing because of X, Y, Z. Oh, okay, I understand that. There might be a counter argument. I get it. But you gotta entertain the idea of, oh, okay, you know what? There's a reason behind the actions. I don't think this dude is at the point where he's just doing things because he wants to do it. Now I do. And is it old age? Is he just as bad as Biden? But Biden was just a different kind of crazy, right? Biden is younger than him, but the brain was just deteriorating. Does anyone know how Joe Biden is doing? I do want to put that out there. Has anyone seen him? We've seen Obama every single day. Jesus Christ, this guy misses the limelight. Barry O he misses the itch. His kids have grown up. They're smoking weed. They're in college. They're probably going to get married soon. People think his wife used to be a man. What? This guy is a legend. Michelle Obama, a legend. And man, they can't get out of the limelight. But has anyone checked on Biden? This guy was getting old, right? And his age was showing. But with Trump, it's like, okay, you know what? He seems like he knows what he's talking about, but he sounds coherent, right? The statements he's saying, it's like, okay, he doesn't seem like he's brain dead. He's not falling. The guy is going to sports event. You see the dude doing a physical activity. It's golf, but it's still a physical activity. But is there something in there? Is there something in there that might have just clicked? And then, you know, what, how do we know? Who's doing the psych evals on this guy? Did they fire him? People keep complaining about all these people that got fired. My life hasn't changed. I know that's a really greedy, selfish way to look at things, but man, I really don't know. Oh, my Natera bill is ready. Fuck me, man. Anyway, my main thing that I wanted to talk about today was the Department of War. Department of War. Now, things have been crazy, right? Things have been crazy. The TSA doesn't care if you even take off your shoes anymore, which if you don't have TSA pre-check, what are you doing, bro? At some point, we just got to look at you funny if you don't have TSA pre-check. There's the iPhone is going to start being made in America. Elon Musk has now disappeared, and Trump's still doing his thing. We got the Department of War. People getting fired left and right. We got tariffs to deal with, right? Tariffs is a big deal. As someone that works in the retail space, it's something that's being accounted for. So there's all this stuff. And I've gotten to the point where I think the amount that I've started caring about this stuff, and I don't know whether it's I want to care about it because of the podcast. I want to care about it because I'm older and I want to be able to talk about it better. But it hasn't gotten me anywhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think about the added time I have spent researching some of these things, taking an opinion, taking a deeper thought into these things. And it hasn't increased my bank account. It hasn't gotten me further in the work that I do. Right? Like, I don't go to work thinking like, oh, okay, you know, because I have this take, it'll get me a little bit further. I don't have a well-oiled publicized podcast like that where I'm talking about political takes and then, you know, people are looking at me for their, oh yeah, you know, he said this, so we should think. No. I've stopped caring. Half the things that people ask me about nowadays, I'm just like, I really don't know, because I've had to stop caring because my money ain't right. My money ain't right. And that's the one thing I got to care about. Focusing on all this shit happening, it's not going to get me right. It's not going to get me right. So with this Department of War shit, I'm just like, I can't, I have to stop caring now. I get it. Oh, he's crazy. You guys should have known this and that. You were coming off as a Trump supporter. And it's like, hey, you shut the fuck up. You didn't know what was happening either. You didn't know this was going to happen. I remember the way y'all were talking about this stuff. I do remember. Oh, my body. Oh my gosh, he's going to come after my body. He hasn't done shit about bodies. He hasn't come after anybody's body. We got these Epstein victims about to make their own list, and good for them. They should do that. I support it. Are they going to put Trump on there? Has Trump paid them off? How do we know anymore? There's this matrix of truth now where everything is a truth and a lie at the same time, because no one, there's so many loopholes that I think I don't understand. I think the average person I interact with doesn't understand, right? They take down the president. What happens then? Can they take it down? Like what? How many parties are involved that would just kill this girl if she were to come out and put his name on a list? Do you become the martyr? Do you become the person that lays on the sword? I don't know. Some of these people talking about that they were 14 and then got recruited to this island just to give people massages and they couldn't leave. That shit's pretty fucking crazy. And the dude that was doing this is dead. Who killed him? Oh, he killed himself. Now we got this other bitch that was associated, and she's down to snitch, but she wants full immunity. Hey. Your big ass has to pay for an extra seat on Southwest now. You don't get full immunity. We used to hand it out, right? We used to give you a flyer when you get on the plane. You can your big ass can put this next to you and say, hey, I've ate too much in my life. I'm sorry. I have to take up the seat next to me so I don't end up sweating bullets of grease on the next person. We don't give out passes like that anymore. It doesn't work like that. We want blood. Have you not kept up with the news cycle? Have you not been on Facebook? Have you not seen your dad comment on someone's post recently? Blood needs to be in the water. The Department of War. For anyone that's shocked by this, like, what are you talking about? Where have you been for the last 6 months? Oh my gosh, it's been 6 months and America's in the... What are you talking about? You have the same job. Have you gotten laid off? I got laid off under blue. So am I supposed to... You know what I'm saying? Like, My biggest issue is there's accountability on both sides. And this thing is so much bigger than a single focal head that's in office, right? It comes down to the state government. It comes down to the elected officials. Now, all of that being said, let's turn our attention to Chicago. They had a protest recently. Woohoo. Let's stop the force. DC, they sent the National Guard. They walked all the halls and stuff like that. They had their protest. Now, Chicago, here's my issue with my Chicago brethren. For a decade, y'all have called yourselves Chirac, a place known for murder, right? The Valentine's Day Massacre, all these killings. You've heard all these Chicago artists sing about this shit, let alone, just Kanye West. I don't know if Common is a Chicago artist, but for a decade, Chicago has been known as a crime city. And now when it's and no one would argue it, right? Everyone, if you were to ask someone, hey, do you think the crime is bad in Chicago? They'd probably be like, yeah, from what I've heard, I think so. And now that this whole National Guard is going to be deployed there, everyone starts acting like, look how beautiful Chicago is. That's the river right there. That's the thing that they make green during St. Patrick's Day. Sometimes they put some rubber duckies in there. It's a fun, festive time. But look at the skyline. Would you like to go get a cocktail on one of these rooftops? Look how beautiful it is. And people have this idea like, oh, you know what? Chicago has one of the lowest crime rates, so therefore, like Trump is just doing it. Yes, he is. He is. But also, if you're Chicago, why not? Why not? Take the National Guard. I don't understand why people are so scared of this National Guard thing. I understand it's a level of control and power and, oh my gosh, he's raining terror. If we act up, then we're going to get shot. I haven't seen any cases of that. I haven't seen any cases of someone throwing something at a wall and then getting shot in America. And don't tell me, oh, you're just not seeing it because it's not hitting your TikTok feed. No. I'm literally seeing people get bombed in another country on my TikTok feed. I'm literally seeing people try to help people out of rubble and then a bomb hits them. This is what I see on my TikTok feed. Don't tell me that, oh, well, in America it's being filtered out. No, it's not. It's not. Why would you not take the National Guard's help? If anything, crime can go down. Your husband that has a little bit of PTSD from when he was deployed, he can now have a job. He can get paid. These people don't have to beg and scratch for these VA loans. They can go back to work. They can go do what they need to do. They can just march the streets. They have an AK-47 on their chest, but as long as they don't shoot anyone for a wrong reason, I think we're good with it. Shit, Houston needs to call up. Houston needs to make a call and say, hey, can we get on the list next? Houston has to make the call, because why not? Why would you not want it? I understand the slew of reasons of like, well, it exercises this and it exercises. Whoa. We got to bring it down to basics. Bring it down to basics real quick. If these guys are just marching the street, what? You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, if you're a hall monitor, the students shouldn't be throwing a fit like, you know what? Those halls used to be free. We used to be able to walk, go to the bathroom, make out with someone in the hallway, and then go get some bubble gum from the vending machine, and then go back to class. Now there's a hall monitor. And that's impeding on my rights. Beat your kids, please. All of this stuff, I did not think it was going to get this nuts. And the fact that the news cycle is what it is today, and nothing has gotten better as far as like school shootings, something that I have been vocal about on this podcast, where it's like, that is one of my number one things I would love for that to improve on. We need less kids dying. We need less people dying. And then they use these focal characters. Oh, we have this transgender person that went into the school and shot everyone. We have this Punjabi illegal undocumented person driving this truck and they killed someone. And they keep doing these things. And we have to get to the point of seeing the bigger picture and trying to make some type of actual change. My name is Ajay Patel, and I will be running for 2035, 2034. When's the next candidate? 2032, 2036 presidency. Ladies and gentlemen, my name has been Ajay Patel. I hope you guys have been enjoying the Tuesday releases. I would love to move back to Monday. A quick check-in. Summer's over. Summer's over. How you doing? How you tracking? Huh? You might want to put down those fries. Just get a second burger. You don't need the fries and the ketchup. Just get a second burger. I'll talk to you guys on the flip side. Thank you so much for listening. Make sure you comment, like, and subscribe. I will see you guys next week, and goodbye.